Warning, bad or taboo language.
Recording. There you go. We're off.
I've got to look there, haven't I?
Yeah, well, you can look wherever you want, to be honest with you. Doesn't really matter. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2, season 1. Maybe the only season ever to be, but we'll see. I'm a poet, see, Steve. Look at that. How
There
about
you
that?
go.
Did you like that? Slip that in there.
Embrace your inner poet.
I'm Matt. I'm a yoga teacher and other stuff as well. Doing men's work and whatnot as well now. Um, But me and Steve like to talk woo-woo weirdo stuff. We just have conversations. We see where they go. Sometimes they go somewhere, sometimes they don't. But we thought we'd just start broadcasting them and see what happens and see what comes of it, really. So, Steve, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah, I've been thinking about this. I actually wrote something down this week.
Oh, that's a bit
Yeah,
organized.
yeah, I write quite a lot of things down, but on this particular subject. Um, so I was thinking, who am I? Because as you know, I'm starting to engage with social media after 52 years of life. And obviously that hasn't existed for that long, but we're engaging now. So I was thinking, who am I? What am I? And what I wrote down, I don't have it to hand, but it was something along the lines of, who am I? What am I? I am a Stephen. I am Stephen Bate. There is only one of me and there's billions of you, which is actually true of all of us, if we think about it. Um, but yeah, I'm a lawyer come hypnotherapist come, I don't know, just a
Woo-woo
dolphin.
weirdo.
I'm a weirdo. I'm a bit of a weirdo. Always have been. Um, living on this earth, possibly against my better judgment, but let's not dwell on that for too long. We could get into that maybe on a QHHT podcast if we ever go down that route. But
Well,
I'll tell you, have you?
this is the route for it, isn't it? So this is completely unscripted. So, well, apart from you with your partial script that you've left somewhere else in your self-description, I'll write this down and I'll put it over there somewhere and come back to it. But yeah, I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
place to go to the QHHT if you wanted to go down there.
No, no, no. We'll leave that for this one. I think. Have you thought about any? Because I have got a couple of things that I
But
thought about.
I've had an observation this week about static electricity, which I've been
Okay.
noticing. I've been getting a lot of zips and zaps off things. And I watched a video the other day that my friend Jez shared with me. He'll probably see this because he is on my YouTube channel. Um, and it's a bloke in a shed talking about the ether and stuff like that. And I'll put the link in the description. Actually, I'll do that. I don't think I even watched the whole video, but I got to a certain point of it, and I was like, okay, I'll get that. And then since then, I've been noticing lots of little electric sparks. So he talks about electricity and magnetism and stuff like that and all the different energies. And then he expands it into the ether and how the ether is a constant state of potential energy. And I was like, okay, that could make sense. And that's where life comes from. Everything comes from the ether, whether you want to call it God or consciousness or anything like that. And then I was just like, because I kept getting electric shocks. I was like, why am I getting electric shocks? Like, I've not had those for months. And then I was like, well, it's spring, isn't it? And everything, life is abundant in spring. Um, Everything comes to rebirth and regrows, nature's new year. And then I was like, well, I'll be getting electric shocks because there's a higher intensity of ether. And we know that we can extract electricity from the ether. And I was like, well, if what that guy was talking about, it makes sense that I'm getting electric sparks off everything that I touch at the minute because this is spring. Life comes from the ether. So the ether is highly charged at the minute. So it's giving more interaction of electric shocks and static electricity. So that's kind of been my pondering today while I've been being electrocuted around my travels.
That's
I,
interesting. I mean,
I
I
wonder
get quite a lot.
because it only like it. There seems to be moments throughout the year, and I've never really tied it in with spring at all. But I know that I've not had any for months, and then suddenly I've started getting them this last few weeks.
You need to do. You need to do. Um, I was once walking up the stairs at work, and probably this is sort of like QHHT related. It's like some of the practitioners believe that we bring on things like a heart attack
Mhm.
to exit, say, a job that we don't like because it's socially acceptable, or to make a massive change in our lifestyle, because we get into these patterns, the archetypal patterns. You'll see where I'm going with this in just a minute, but
Hmm.
everything is connected. Um, so there's a belief amongst people who are more attuned to these things that actually all illness, all disease, all conditions that we bring are brought on by us for a reason. The heart attack is a paradigm example. So you're in a job that you hate, you have a heart attack. You drink too much, you
Seems
give
like a
yourself
bit of
a
an
heart attack.
extreme reaction, but yeah, okay.
But it makes sense though, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Because
yeah,
it's like, yeah, but there are different degrees of heart attacks,
yeah,
remember?
yeah.
So if you're like, oh, God, right, we'll bring it back to static electricity in a second. But
I'm
from my
just
own
thinking about the
experience,
worst. I'm just thinking about the worst jobs that I could have quite enjoyed having a heart attack in that job to get out of it. So that's where all my mind went off. But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so
there's been
these,
a
you get
couple.
them. You see the point. Like, if we believe that we are in fact shards of God or the universe or the ether or whatever,
Mm,
and that everything is connected, then why wouldn't it follow that it's like, do you know what? I've made a mistake here. I need to get out of this. But actually, we're still governed to our societal norms, aren't we? We can't
mm,
avoid that. We're in physical incarnation. We're here now.
mm.
You know, and we're programmed to do things in a certain way to fit in with society. So if we don't, then we're weirdos, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so you give yourself a heart attack, or like from my own example of my life, I didn't have a heart attack, by the way, but I'll tell you, I'll bring it very, very quickly back. It's like giving up drinking, go out to a 30th birthday party. I was a bit older, but and like, what are you having to drink? I'll have a Diet Coke. What are you doing that for, you boring bastard? Oh,
Mm,
whoops, bleep. Um, well, I'm not an alcoholic. I just decided to give up alcohol because I was not able to. Oh, I don't believe I'm an alcoholic. I just can't handle it. And I didn't want to handle it. So I decided to give it up. It was easier than moderating. And the minute I go, oh, I'm an alcoholic actually, which was a lie, a mask, an act, like we're talking about. It was like, well, that's okay then. I'll get you a Coke. And no,
yeah,
nothing more is said. So you give yourself a heart attack, you exit the job, you exit the position, you make a change in your lifestyle,
yeah.
like from being the guy who eats all the sausage rolls or the pie barms if you're from Wigan, to the guy who eats kale. It's okay. Why are you doing
Mm,
that? I had a heart attack. All right, we'll leave you alone then.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Walking up the stairs at work, got a bit of a chest pain. And at the time, I don't think I was very happy in the job. So it's like, oh, right, I'm going to go. I had private healthcare. I'm going to go and report this. And I get a load of tests. What they gave me was this little device that every time I felt like this, then say you've got like this low resting heart rate or whatever. Whenever you feel like dizzy or something, press this button. So you need a button like that or we need a button like that where we get static electricity. We need to log it somehow.
Log
Like,
it somewhere. Bag
and
and
then
tag it. Yeah.
look at a pattern. What if you find that the pattern it peaks in spring and falls off in autumn? I don't think it
Mm,
will because I know
mm.
that over winter, I'm just trying now to think. I've had quite a lot actually, it might be wrong that, but I know I've had a lot of static electric shocks
Well,
the
awareness
last
changes
month.
everything, doesn't it? So maybe we
Yeah.
need to start bringing awareness to it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying, I think. This is like,
might be worth.
oh, which is a tremendous segue to something I heard yesterday.
Okay, there you go.
Because I
Everything's
was
connected.
correct. Correct. So if you will indulge me, I know I've just been talking for a little while there, but
Go, go, go.
I will say this and then you tell me what you think, what your reaction is. Uh Traveled to the Northwest yesterday, so in the car, listened to various things, but amongst other things, a podcast, and I'm going to say it to give it credit. It's by the God, I don't know where I've written this now. Ozark
Got
Mountain Publishing
far too many
Transformation.
notes, Steve. Far too many notes.
You're not on screen now. You're recording your screen, not mine, aren't you?
Hmm.
Because if the people were to see my notes app, they would go, "What is this guy? He's definitely a woo-woo weirdo."
Yeah.
But the Ozark Mountain Publishing Transformation Conference podcast, quote, Teaching the Indigo Child by Catherine Andrews. Okay. And she goes, they're like, you can listen to it. It's talking about setting up a new educational institution, not to teach the Indigo children. Not quite sure what I think about that exactly. It just could be another church school. But anyway, so the concept from that was spirituality is self-awareness. So they're shying away from saying we're setting up a spiritual school 'cause it's got connotations of religious content. And they think that the word spirituality, I mean, this is probably from 2012, 13, 14. Spirituality is too much for some people. So spirituality is or as self-awareness. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because without awareness, you wouldn't. Well, yeah, without awareness, you wouldn't have anything, and it's the awareness that changes everything, isn't it? It was my awareness of self that started to change things in my life. Um, yeah, I mean, labels labels are just labels, aren't they? It's your kind of your perception of how it comes across. I totally believe that. Yeah, I've been talking about awareness a lot this week in yoga, and
Mm.
awareness is kind of the key to it. If you're not aware, then I would say you're not spiritual. You need awareness to kind of open your eyes or open the mind or open the heart to that concept of spirituality, whatever that is. Um,
Do we even know what spirituality is? Does it even matter?
that's a good question. What is spirituality? Um, what would your
Because it's like
concept of
bandied around, isn't
spirituality
it?
be? I mean, it's just being open, isn't it? I mean, I don't even tie it in with religion, although Christians do say they're spiritual. I would take it beyond religion. I would say it's more of an understanding of that like direct connection with source, with God, with the ether, whatever you want to call it out there, rather than
The non-physical.
yeah, with the non-physical and the physical and all of it, because it's well, none of
Mm.
it's physical, is it? Potentially, it's all energy, isn't it? So even our physical body is just a different type of energy, isn't it? So hard like hard like hologram, like in Red Dwarf, isn't it? That's pretty much what we are, isn't it? It's just like hard like hologram. So um
Don't want to be rimmer though,
yeah,
do
yeah,
we?
yeah. For the unseen, a connection to the unseen maybe is a way. Um, but again, it depends in which circles you move as to what spirituality is, because you can talk
Yeah.
about the darker side and witchcraft dealing with spirits, and you get like, white witches and dark witches and stuff. But the spirit guides and stuff like that, they'd deem that as spirituality as well, wouldn't they? But Christians also deem it as spiritual to talk to God and whatnot. So it's that connection to source, isn't it? And some people have a connection as if to say source is there and I have a direct line to. Um, but I think our understanding and my understanding, definitely, I'm sure you share this concept, is that we are encompassed in that. We are not. We don't need to open a channel to it. It runs through us. It is us. We're not separate from it. So that's kind of, and that comes with awareness. If you don't have the awareness, then you're never gonna experience or feel that or see that. So
Mm.
it's definitely intrinsically connected. Awareness changes everything. I've been saying it all week on the mat. Awareness on the mat, awareness off the mat.
I
So it's
obviously
quite
didn't.
interesting that you've brought it up today again.
Yeah, because I didn't
And you've not
attend
even
any
been to my
classes.
class this week, have you? So yeah, you wouldn't have been
No, not at all.
privy to that information apart from through that divine connection.
But that's
Yeah.
one of the other things she was talking about in this podcast, actually. She's talking about like loads of things about how schools are actually not that great for
Oh no,
kids.
they're the
Um,
worst things.
but then talking about teaching kids like quantum theory, which sounds like, why would you teach kids quantum theory? But then actually, most kids would probably intuitively get it. And as the woman was saying, she's not a physicist, so she couldn't teach. She doesn't understand physics, but quantum physics she can get her head around, which just sounded like slightly bizarre. But then she talks about, oh God, one of the principles in quantum physics, dual locality or something like that, or non-locality.
Yeah. So what
Can't
the
remember that.
experiment was, they had a particle which they split in two or something, and they shot it in opposite directions. And no matter how far in opposite directions they did, when they spun one the other way, the other one instantly, exactly the same time, spun the same way. So they were able to measure that no matter where, and they've done loads of other experiments around it as well, but no matter where you are. So, I mean, potentially, if everything come from the Big Bang and exploded out, right? If that theory, if that boom, everything was one single point at one time, everything expanded out, then everything is still connected at that point, no matter where you are in the universe. The planet at the edge of Andromeda solar system or whatever is still connected to a bit of my heart. Like, it's that
Yeah,
kind of, and everything can react and connect. And there's an open channel, isn't it, between everything all at the
yeah.
same time.
So whatever the theory is called, it's the fact that the two particles remained connected.
Mm.
It was the and everything. So like
Quantum
so
entanglement's another way of saying it.
I mean she was talking she didn't use the phrase quantum entanglement and I have doesn't matter we're in semantics now the
Yeah.
principle matters um and it's like how why are you talking about awareness in your classes and then this concept of awareness comes on. I mean I was on a golf day, right?
Yeah.
It's like the least spiritual thing you can do, except that I think that it actually is it can be a fairly spiritual endeavor because sometimes,
Again, that's where
yes,
the awareness comes in, though, isn't it?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
like, I was saying yoga as well. Like, yoga is not just your 60-minute practice on the mat. Yoga is that weaving of the awareness into your day-to-day life. So if you're, playing golf, you're in a meditative state, whether you're playing well or not.
yeah. I wasn't yesterday.
So maybe you weren't that meditative yesterday, but like, that's
All right,
kind
no,
of the thing,
no.
and it without the awareness, then yeah, life is just life. Damn it, I've just walked into a wall, or I just got an electric shock off a gate. That's or I've just stubbed my toe. But when you start bringing awareness to things, that's when things start to change, and you can start to see beyond the physical reaction and the physical interaction, and start to open up your awareness into that space beyond.
So
And
the
that's when
self
you,
so how does
yeah,
the self-awareness interact with the awareness then? Is it all the same thing?
well, yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Probably is, isn't it? Because if um
So can a cat be spiritual? Is a cat self-aware?
oh
I
no
mean,
that
cats are
that
probably one of the most spiritual animals out there.
depends on what you define spirituality as. And we come right back to the beginning of the conversation with no answers whatsoever. And, the QHHTers believe that, or certainly in the past, because it actually a lot of it moved on very rapidly in that field. So from like the past lives regression to now, it's like less and less people are going to past lives because without I don't really want to go too far into our own experiences with this process. Maybe later, but some of us haven't had past lives here. It's being we're being given that information, but then a lot of the people, the earlier people, were reporting that things like dogs and cats were part of a group consciousness, group collective consciousness, and that one of the reasons that they incarnated as a cat or a dog was to work the way towards humans. So, what Dolores Cannon believed through her work, at one point at least, was that if you have incarnated on Earth before, as opposed to somebody from not from Earth, so we'll just caveat that. You have to go through every stage, and she was finding people who had been a chemical in the atmosphere, removing ammonia from the early Earth's atmosphere so that it could become habitable for life. Right?
I
I
wonder
mean
how
that.
you remember that. That's good.
Well, you remember everything though, don't you? As a spirit, as a
Yeah,
soul,
yeah, yeah,
whatever. That this is
yeah,
the whole point of it,
yeah.
and so you go through that. You go through being a rock, a tree, a plant, a rose, whatever. And then the animal kingdom was part of a step towards human individuated consciousness. Um,
More so because of pets, wasn't it? I think what I remember reading or seeing somewhere or hearing somewhere was more so to do with pets because pets have that self-awareness because they get named, don't they? They are welcomed into a family, they get named, they get treated like
yeah,
a person or an entity with
yeah.
awareness of, yeah.
Well, my
So a
dog is
wild animal,
definitely going that way.
huh?
Our dog is definitely going that way. I mean, geez,
Yeah,
tiny dog with a massive personality. Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so
Mm.
where did we get? How did we get to this one? Where are we going now? Where are we going now? Oh, right. We've got 9 minutes
Self-awareness and
left.
awareness, isn't it? Self-awareness and
Yeah.
awareness. Still. Yeah.
So I suggest we just pause that one for later discussion because I want to bring forth the concept. Sorry, the concept that arose this morning when I logged into the free man community on school about quote unquote getting a bollocking from God.
Okay.
I just found that to be this, it's like incredible concept, right? So it's like we believe that we're all connected, we're all part of the bigger picture. I believe that we are all part. Like if there was a Big Bang, it was just the God consciousness, whatever the universe, this universe deciding to go, "Oof, let's go." And we can perhaps eventually find the scientific evidence that it actually happened, but at the moment they haven't found it. Um, maybe it will, maybe they will, maybe they won't, maybe it's completely different, maybe it's not,
There's
it
no
doesn't matter.
beginning, there's no end, is there? There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just a continual loop of everything and nothing all at the same time, and it. Bloop.
I had that conversation with a scientifically minded person once, many, many years ago. I won't say who it is or where it was, but I was patiently patronized. So I was patient whilst I was patronized, and I was
Mhm.
told about go back particles and put in scientific terms, and I think it was said it was a helium particle and the hydrogen particle collided, and
Mhm.
from that the energy was released. Like, you
Where
mean
did they come from?
that's exactly. So after I listened to this whole thing, and that was
Yeah.
it. So where did those two particles come from? Oh, that's just metaphysics. That's just metaphysics. Yeah, it's
Okay, yeah.
metaphysics. Yeah,
Mm,
doesn't
mm.
answer the. I'm trying not to swear. It
Yeah.
doesn't answer the question, does
You
it?
can swear if you want. I mean, this is an adult channel. It's not designed
Oh,
for
oh,
kids. Okay, it's
yeah,
not
it's
designed for
not made
kids.
for
So
kids.
swear
Yes.
all you like.
No, but I woke up this morning. I swore a lot yesterday.
Okay, it was golf, isn't it? Bad
Yeah,
golf
that's
as
golf.
well is going to
Oh,
induce.
bad golf with a load of blokes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I woke up this morning saying, oh, I'm going to try not to swear today. I think I failed already.
You
But
failed already, but
yeah, so anyway, so if we're part of God, we're part of this expansion of the source in this universe or galaxy, maybe. But in this galaxy, in this universe, we're part of that and we're a little shard of it. Then we're bollocking ourselves, aren't we?
yeah, yeah,
And we're committing sins against ourselves.
yeah,
So I think you said it just before. It's just a big circle, no beginning, no end. It's like
yeah.
this is why we think that there's no. So I've heard criticisms about some of the more like there's a spiritual teaching, which is there's no good, there's no bad, there's just experience. And one of the criticisms that's come back about that is, well, that's a cop out, isn't it? Well, it's no more of a cop out than saying 10 Hail Marys, is it?
Yeah.
Right? I've
It's not.
committed a sin,
Yeah,
repent your sins, you're all
it's all
right.
forgotten. Yeah, that's it. Sounds about that.
Yeah, so
All right, then, no worries.
I haven't got a problem. I don't have a problem with that because
No,
forgiveness, as you know, last week, Gnostic Jesus, unconditional love, forgiveness, non-judgment, personal responsibility. That's actually connected to that. It's not what I don't think they're actually teaching that Gnostic Jesus bit, but it's all
no.
connected. Isn't it? Problem. It's just why would you say if you were of that faith or any other faith that does that? Why would you then criticize somebody who's not exploring a church-led or an organized religion faith or belief system that says no good, no bad, just experience? It's the same thing, isn't it?
It's the same thing because you can in that either way you're bypassing to a point because you go, well, I've done bad, but I can be forgiven for it, so it's okay that I did bad because I can be forgiven for it. Or you can live the life saying, well, it's life experience. And hopefully, I guess the thing is that hopefully you learn from your life experience and your mistakes and your sins. And that's the point. Otherwise, you keep running into the brick wall, keep repeating the same thing, the same situations, and ending up back in the same square without actually progressing through life, kind of thing. Because the repeating patterns come in, didn't you? And if you're not learning your lessons and not learning from your mistakes, then you're going to find yourself in the same situation time and time again. And that's maybe, but yeah, it's another loop, isn't it? It's just another loop. You end up going around in a circle. You can look at it from all the different ways and end up back at the same spot.
Yeah. Just had a revelation.
Oh,
right.
You heard it here first, everybody.
Ice cream with custard is not that evil. Anyway, so that's not the revelation. We were talking about that just before we came on. The revelation of this is this. I mean, I've long believed that we're here to learn, even before I started getting any information about QHHT, which some of that is some of those sessions is like, we're here to grow and to learn. That's why we come here. It's like a school. It's the Earth School. So we're a shard of God, a shard of light, whatever you want to call it, a piece of the energy of the universe. And we have to be, because we know from our science and we know from our static electric shocks that it's energy. So if we're here, what are we doing here? Well, one of the main things is to grow and learn. Okay? So that would be where you would get a bollocking from God, innit? You've been here, you've done your time, you've made your mistakes, you've committed your sins, and you didn't learn. So you go back to the source and you go, you dick, I'm gonna give you bollocking now.
Yeah. Back ego.
Well, and then you're back. Then you're into reincarnation, right?
Yeah.
You reincarnate.
We're not doing that this time, are we? We've decided.
Oh,
well, I've decided. I'm not coming back. You're not coming back, are you? No.
We don't have
not here anyway.
No, not to here.
No.
I mean, no. And there's a few people that I know are like, I'm not coming back here. So we've got to learn. It's in short.
We best step up. Time to step up, people. Time to step up.
Better grow, better learn, better learn from our mistakes, better go down the route of unconditional love, forgiveness, non-judgment, personal responsibility. It actually all makes sense, doesn't it? Those 4 principles.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the second week we've done this, and the second time they've come up. There must be a reason.
Basic code of conduct. Don't be a cunt. Finish on a high. I think we'll wrap it up there, Steve. What do you think?
You're going to bleep that out?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh, just
I don't know how it'll come up in the transcript. I'm not sure how it'll come up. I wonder if they bleep it. Instagram bleeps it. I know that much. I've been bleeped on Instagram, automatically when you.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good because I think so. Just in the 1 minute left, there's a film just on that subject. It's completely non-spiritual, but I think it's quite funny. I'll have to find it. But there was I don't know whether it's Harry Hill's TV burp. In fact, we're both looking quite Harry Hill-esque without the collar today. Harry Hill's TV burp, I think it was, and they review the TV, and they had some footage of these king penguins from a David Attenborough type of guy. But every time he said king penguin, they put a miniature beep just before the king. So it went beep king penguins. And at the end of it, he just turns the camera and just goes, "Really? There's no need to swear." You'll have to find it. It's brilliant.
Dig it out. See if we can add it on the end.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, everything is connected.
Yeah. All right. See you next time.
See you next time. Thanks a lot, man.
See you later.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Surrounded by king penguins the whole time, they might start to get on your nerves. But really, there's no need for bad language.
There's not just one or a few king penguins. Look at this. There's some king penguin shit.
Will I ever find a king penguin? At last, I found a king penguin with a distinguishing mark.
Well, there's no need for bad language.